If the video looks different from the last few, apologies, I need to adjust my lighting. If the video looks different from the last few, that's because my lens broke. I was recording a video and I didn't turn off my camera, and then next time I turned it on, the lens wouldn't retract. And then when it tried to retract, it would just go and then it just stopped working. So my cool lens that does cool focus things doesn't work, and now I'm using a cool fisheye lens. For those of you that have never recorded in your life, none of this will matter. And then on top of that, I have a big lens that doesn't do shit for these kind of videos because it zooms in too much, and therefore I would have to put the camera outside for it to actually capture me, because that's how badly it zooms in. But anyway, I hope you don't mind this perspective for the time being. I'm sure many of you, especially those of you that reside in Europe and in many Asian countries, relate to this, which is being contained. So either whether you have coronavirus or don't, maybe I should stop saying it because apparently you get demonetized for it. I have not yet, but who knows. Yeah, they are basically, I mean, my country essentially doesn't let you really leave the house. It's not so much that the police will arrest you if you leave the house, but you should only go out alone and to the nature. All parks are closed, all shops outside of grocery shops are closed. The only things open are like hospitals, post offices, banks, things like that. I work from home, I write my thesis from home, you know, all those things. But I'm sure that anyone in Europe right now that is watching this is going through the same thing, simply because literally all of EU is enforcing this, and so it's a good thing. In my opinion, this is how it should be, and it's not going to work unless this is what happens. But alas, I and you too are card game players, and in times like this, you know, our locals are closed down. And with no locals means we can't play our cards. You know, I literally have this very nice little Vanguard deck that I just got that I can't use right now outside of webcam fights, because that's just the situation that we are found in because of this stupid virus. And I mean, you can't really do much else. But luckily there are actually ways to enjoy Vanguard, thank God. So today I'm gonna go over the various ways that you can still enjoy Vanguard and still play Vanguard while being isolated, while being quarantined if unfortunately you have to, etc. So let's just go through them. I'm gonna go in order of things that are most official to least official. I think you can predict what's coming already in which order. So first things first, I'm gonna personally recommend Vanguard 0 as the #1 thing, because basically it's gonna be the easiest, most convenient thing to use. English version isn't out yet, but it feels like it's gonna be out really soon because the official Vanguard 0 Twitter has been posting screenshots, videos, etc. all the time, like almost every other day. And so I'm pretty sure that that is a sign of the game coming out very soon, because that's more or less how the Japanese version acted up like close to release. So I'm pretty sure we're getting the game very, very soon. So I wouldn't be surprised if it releases in like 1 or 2 weeks, and maybe with this pandemic they're actually trying to push the release a bit sooner, hopefully. But even with the Japanese version of Vanguard 0, it's really easy to play it even if you don't speak Japanese. Like, there is the database that has all the card text and skills that you can always access whenever you need to, and on top of that you also have my beginner's guide that I made back when the Japanese version came out that will walk you through all the essentials that you need to get started and actually play the game from the beginning. So I really recommend checking that out, because that will let you enjoy Vanguard right now from anywhere. And it honestly feels like Vanguard 0's release was really well timed for the Japanese version, at least, simply because of the situation that we find ourselves in. Now, outside of Vanguard 0, Bushiroad's initiative, Remote Fight, is the second thing I would recommend. So this is the only thing that will allow me right now to use this, to use my, well, not her, but to use my Vanguard deck, because, I mean, you know, we should still be buying product in my opinion, because otherwise card game businesses will just crash and die. Maybe that's a bit too dramatic, but it's obviously not a good thing for card game businesses if their products don't sell. So for example, my locals had to shut down because of what, you know, the government forcing all non-essential shops to shut down. But because of that, my locals opened up an online store where they do deliveries now. So I'm just going to order product from them so I can still support my locals, and that they don't take too much of a hit from this loss of business. And so I think people should still be buying product, but then obviously you want to be able to use your product. So the way to use your product is through Remote Fight. So Remote Fight is a Discord server that Bushiroad made themselves. I have a whole video dedicated to this, and I think it is a pretty good video, so you can check that out. There will be like a pop-up somewhere. Also at the end, it'll link to my beginner's video for 0, as well as for the Remote Fight video that you can check out, and that will give you an avenue as well to use your current decks in an online format and be able to meet and play with new people. Next one is gonna be EX. So Vanguard EX is also official. It is sadly outdated now by quite a few sets, but it still is playable. It's still Vanguard that you can enjoy on either the Switch or the PS4. Sadly, again, Japanese only, but again, I have a video explaining all the menus and translations and stuff like that. And so there's also the 3DS games that you can still get online, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and you know, things like that if you want to enjoy some of the previous, you know, past metas, but you can also do that via Zero now. So that one, I mean, I wouldn't personally recommend it as much, simply because, I mean, it doesn't feel as exciting because it is outdated, but at the same time, it is a way to enjoy Vanguard at the very least. Hello, I'm recording this in post because I forgot to mention the very obvious tabletop simulator. The reason why I didn't mention it is because initially there wasn't any new updates being made by the original maker of the table that was making stuff for the V-Series, so you'd have to follow my old method from the old video I made of setting up your own stuff there. But there is somebody working on a new plugin that will make the updated sets all the way until Tri 3 out the moment, apparently, that the Tri 3 set is out in Japan, so you can look forward to that, and I'll talk more about that later, / I'll share it on social medias when it's out, so that's something to look forward to, but I'll leave that in the description as well for you to set that up if you want to enjoy another way of remote fight, so, or well, remotely playing Vanguard, so yes. And now the final one, which, I mean, if Bushiroad were to share this video, this would be the reason why they wouldn't share it anymore, is Cardfight Area. So Cardfight Area is always around. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. This is the way that you can still test all your new cards, new strategies, etc. without having to actually, you know, buy the new cards, etc. And so Cardfight Area is easy to get into. It doesn't look nice, but it works easily, and the design isn't too intuitive, but again, it gets the job done. You can play your Vanguard, you can do your playtesting. I'm not sure what you're playtesting for right now because it looks like all Springfest will be cancelled, but you know, I guess there's BCS, but then the current releases don't really matter too much, so just play for fun. Test out new strategies. Have some fun with the game. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the game, but for now, if you want to be competitive in Vanguard, the only avenue for competitive Vanguard play is actually Zero. There's no other place, because if all Springfests are cancelled, all locals here are closed, and so there's no other place to actually play in tournaments unless, you know, people start doing online tournaments with either CFA or remote fight or things like that, where you can actually still play with cards and get some kind of prizes, but that's going to depend not on Bushiroad, although it could, but it's actually going to depend more on the community, whether they want to actually host these kind of tournaments and things like that. So, I mean, I personally could as well. I haven't quite figured out the logistics, and I'm not sure if I would want to, because it's quite a lot of work to organize all that stuff, so I'm not sure if time would allow it, but there are other organizations that might be doing this kind of thing in the future, so hopefully, if you want to, if you're interested in that kind of thing, it might be worth it for you to give it a shot as well. So, I think those are honestly the best ways to enjoy Vanguard while isolated right now. Obviously, if you live with your siblings or something that play Vanguard, then that makes everything easier. For me, like, I haven't actually played the game with my little brother since last summer, but now we are kind of thinking about just like having him pick it up again so we can like just have something to do, so that way you can also still play it, obviously, but that's very context specific, whereas I was trying to share more kind of easy general ways to enjoy it regardless. So yeah, this is the video for today. I hope it's applicable to a lot of you. The situation sucks, this virus sucks, but there's not much that we can do outside of just wait it out, stay at home, don't go anywhere, just don't leave the house unless necessary, and yeah, but there's still ways to enjoy Vanguard, and that's the good part. So no matter what card game, obviously some card games do have online functionalities, whether it's Magic or Pokemon, they have official ones, and then you still have games like Shadowverse, Hearthstone, etc., Runeterra, and so on, that give you another avenue for online play. But yeah, so that's the situation we find ourselves in. Those are the ways you can enjoy Vanguard. Check out the stuff at the end of this video. There'll be links to the beginner's guide for Zero, as well as what is remote fight. You can check that out, and hopefully that'll help you still enjoy the game during these trying times. So that's going to be it for me today. As always, thank you so much to the channel members. If you want to become one, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. It really does mean a lot. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hello, once again. This is Post-Production DF yet again, letting you know that you too can also play Zero in English now, as this video was a bit outdated from a couple weeks ago. Zero has been out on the soft launch in Singapore for a week now, and I have a video teaching you how you can get into it and 10 tips for getting started that you should check out if you haven't already, but I'm sure a lot of you already have. So if you want to, you can download this magical program called BlueStacks on your PC or on your MacBook and play Zero by looking for it on Cool App. So hope that helps pass the time during this difficult period. But on that note, once again, bye-bye.